all, some of them members of Hamas who possess a lot of information were caught on that Black Saturday.
A great deal of critical, essential, and life-saving information came from these investigations. Information that also serves the army right now. Sometimes you get information from the interrogated, and within an hour, a target is marked.
These are the faces of the killers on October the 7th, but they also hold a lot of information that may save lives. From the moment they were caught, a race against time began.
Interrogating a prisoner during a war is like a ticking time bomb, since any sliver of information during war can save lives. And that can affect the outcome of the battle, or even the outcome of a battle in specific terrain.
For the investigator, there's no time to sit around and to conduct an interview. That might take days or even weeks. The time element is critical, and it's being treated appropriately.
Each person, when they're interrogated, there's some kind of basic information about him, or the unit he works in, or the organization, or the area he's working in. He's not being interrogated blindly. It can be confirmed by cross-checking everything he says with what we know, and also according to what other prisoners are saying.
And here, the Shinb Specialty comes into play. They sit in front of those that, a minute ago, murdered, burned, and maybe raped, and now they need to make them sing, mentally break them.
In some cases, there's a problem with identifying the people, not knowing who they are. Those are people who were taught to hide their identity.
Some terrorists, when caught, started singing almost immediately, with no threats made by the Shin Bet.
It's not what it looks like in the movies. These interrogations are held by law. I would say that applying physical pressure won't necessarily bring the results needed.
No one just gives all the information they have, especially not voluntarily. You need to produce it. In interrogations, there's a saying that if a lemon was smart, it would give up all of its juice without being squeezed. Same goes for the interrogated. They don't always give you everything. And if they need a squeeze, you must squeeze them.
Most of the investigations are a chess game between the investigator and the interrogated.
The investigation is very manipulative and very psychological. The investigators are excellent at reading body language, and they can read the person being questioned. They can tell what his movements mean, what a hand movement means, and what a drop of sweat means.
But some cases are exceptional. On the first days of the war, a video was circulating on social media where terrorists were forced to listen to an Israeli children's song over and over again for hours. This was deliberate.
Playing loud music in interrogations is so they can't talk to each other, on one hand, and on the other hand, it's to not let them become relaxed and calm, but to be in a state of constant stress for the upcoming investigation.
The investigators saw the videos of the horrible crimes committed. Now they need to investigate the same people who did it.
Sitting in front of a person when you know exactly what he did. And then you now need to emotionally disconnect yourself from the situation. You now need to get into the zone of analyst-investigator, to look a person in the eye, disconnect, and interrogate.
Sitting in front of a murderer, and if he asks for a cigarette or a cup of coffee so he can confess, and you know it can help with the confession, you'll give him a cigarette and coffee. And if now what works on him is the nice and warm character of the investigator, or maybe the ability of the investigator to connect to something very personal, or the investigator needs to do it to get a good confession, even if inside he's in an emotional storm.
As time goes by and the war continues, the number of interrogated Gazans will grow, and with it, new quality of information will be produced to help win the war.